I don't know if you guys missed this or not, but we sure missed you guys.
Grandma wants the tablet.
No. And we were in California visiting family, and it was great while it lasted. And then we had to come home and go back to the normal life. Last week we were gone. Yeah, I know.
Fucking bullshit.
We sure missed you guys.
Grandma wants the tablet.
No.
And we were in California. I don't know this family.
Hit fucking pop-ups. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. There we go. What's up, Dean? And Mark? Go ahead.
No, while we were there, my 6-year-old decided that our 6-year-old decided that he was going to propose to his girlfriend. Cutest little proposal ever. Gave her a ring and all. And she straight shut him down hard. Poor guy. He had his heart crushed. Majorly crushed.
Yeah, majorly crushed. So.
Well, it's not every day that, a little boy proposes to his, lifelong, girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Poor little guy. It's okay.
Stop the fucking notifications. I got rid of them.
Thank God, because they was getting loud. But they're gone now. So what have you guys all been up to? We missed you guys last week. We drank a lot while we're on vacation. I didn't drink more than I should have. At least I drank enough for at least 5 people, which is a lot. On the bright side, my dad is doing much better, and camera is facing down on the ground right now.
It is. I wonder how that happened.
All I see is a chicken hand.
Alright. What the?
He doesn't want to stay.
There. That should be better now.
Difficulties, like always.
Now is it too high? Is it aiming up at the sky? No, it's fine. Alright, cool.
Okay. And then as far as this week, I've been working like crazy. Crazy.
Notifications. Keep talking. I'm doing things.
Oh, it says, we're cleaning out the garage. Kearney said. So there's holy fuck you think somebody had a party in here or some shit. I don't know. Beers, smiley face, laughing faces. On his phone.
Okay. And then Mickey started saying, got to do a quick caffeine run. Sounds good. Okay, so
Right.
We don't have as much people to fill in like conversation in the meantimes because
No, it's gonna be tough.
so but we should be good going right now. Let's see. Mickey Silverson. Oh, I'm going to call in later to laugh my balls off. Is the infighting between the Game of Thrones fanboys and the writers.
Oh my lord. Yeah, I heard all about that shit.
So, and I think we should have gotten the call-in stuff fixed, so won't have so many issues with that this time, hopefully. So,
I hope not.
So, I got voice meter all set up, so we're trying to get her mic dialed in, but it doesn't want to.
What's going on. It's possessed.
So.
It works when it wants to work.
So let's go ahead and see what we got going on for this week. One of the first stories that I want to talk about, this would have been, well, Josh isn't really into wrestling either, so it doesn't really matter if he was here for it. But, so I guess this week there was a WWE superstar, Ashley Massaro. She died this week at 39. When I originally read the article, it didn't have any cause of death in there for it, but it just said she suddenly passed away. I hate these things.
Well, pop-ups.
Yeah, pop-up ads. So, former WWE superstar Ashley Massaro, who later competed on Survivor, has died. TMZ Sports has learned she was only 39. Officials tell us Massaro was transported from her home in Suffolk County, New York, to a nearby hospital where she died Thursday morning. Officials would not reveal the cause of death at this point, but we're told it's being classified as non-criminal. Massaro famously won WWE's 2005 Raw Diva Search, which included a $250,000 one-year contract. She went on to become a valet for WWE Tag Team Champions Paul London and Brian Kendrick. Her most high-profile matches, including a WWE Women's Championship against Melina at WrestleMania 23 in 2007, and a Playboy Bunny Mania Lumberjill match at WrestleMania 24 the following year. Massaro appeared on Survivor China in 2007, but she was voted off on the second episode of that series. She also appeared in the April 2007 cover of Playboy magazine, which she revealed on an episode of SmackDown. She later cut ties with the WWE in 2008. She later returned for a stint with a lesser-known pro wrestling company in 2017. We are saddened to learn of the tragic death of former WWE superstar Ashley Massaro, WWE said in a statement. She performed in WWE from 2005 to 2008, was beloved by her fellow superstars and fans around the world. So yeah, that was one of the things in the news this week. I know you don't know much about wrestling, Des, so.
I don't. I watched it somewhat as a kid, but no. Don't know anything about it.
Yeah, Dean Cerny says steroids kill your heart, and they
Yeah.
used the WWE defibrillator. It was fake too.
Oh my god.
So, yeah.
In other words, Grumpy Cat also died yesterday.
What?
The Grumpy Cat.
Oh yeah,
He died
Grumpy
yesterday
Cat.
as well.
Mm-hmm. Grumpy Cat died yesterday.
Sad day.
There's a picture of Stan Lee holding Grumpy Cat, and I saw it on Facebook earlier. It's like, this is now a historical relic, because Stan Lee also passed away last year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Was it on the same day though?
Probably not.
That'd be like really weird if they have to be on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be...
I doubt that that's the case, but I don't remember what day it was that Stan Lee passed. So, there was that, and we got High Tech there with us. What's up, High Tech? Thank you for watching.
And Julie, Little Mermaid Spud is in as well.
Mm-hmm.
How are you today?
Richard Kaufman says he's looking forward to coming on.
Nice. Yeah, we have our call-in line all set up, and it should be working this week. You know.
So, let's go ahead and work into another story. Actually, I had another one. FinVets shared a little bit on their page. I saw this article the other day. I don't know if I put it in our list of stories, though. I don't think I did. But there was a commander in the Coast Guard this week that she was making a turn onto base. She was riding a motorcycle, making a turn on a base, got in a wreck, and was killed. And she was an organ donor, and at the hospital after she passed away, they gave her an honor walk through the hospital. Her on the gurney, she was draped in the flag, and she was walked through the hospital as she was going to be prepped for donation. So that's
I
a pretty.
saw that a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm. So, and then, yeah, there was that in the news. So, you know, being a Shelly Richie King says, "What's up?
What up? What up?
Great type. You? Huh? What was that?
She said, "Great, thank you." She corrected herself.
Oh. Okay. So, yeah. So yeah, that was a pretty cool story. Just honoring someone. I mean, you know, because she's in the military and all that stuff. Some people call her a hero for mostly that, but just the fact I think being a donor is, you know, one of the best things you can do, because, you know, as you everything that you is made. I'm totally stumbling all over myself. So you basically, You basically, you know, when you die, you're giving yourself to someone else so that they can continue to live. I mean, I'm a donor. I think. Pretty sure I am. But yeah. So, but however, some people do say it's rumored to an extent. I guess you'd say that if you are a donor, sometimes they may actually um, try less to save your life because you know of the donation. So you know you're more likely to die from something that could have been fixed if you're a donor. They say, but I don't think that's true.
I think they would try first before they even do that.
And we got J-Dub watching. What's up, dude? Thank you for watching.
Yeah, man, our neck of the woods, aren't you?
You just sounded kind of Canadian.
Oh, I kind of.
So,
I saw that you were in Prineville. You were trying to be sneaky.
so we got this week in history news. I'm gonna read a couple of these off while we're doing this. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Don't have kids, people. Like,
So-
don't do it.
So this week in history news, that's May 12th through the 18th. See, we got one thing that happened this week. Puppies were found in ancient Chinese tombs. Were used as cheap sacrifices in lieu of humans.
I didn't want to know that, Jada. Sorry, I just did not want to know that. He says, depending on the type of donor, LOL, I donate my organ all the time, but I keep it attached. I don't think I wanted to know that. It's a little too much information.
Ain't nobody want parts. No,
Oh,
little race funds. So, yeah. This is a damn. So this is another cool thing. You might actually be interested in this. I just saw a trailer just dropped last night for it. So it's a game. You know, Pokemon Go.
yeah.
So it's an augmented reality game where you go around chasing Pokemon. Well, their Microsoft is just announced it's Minecraft Earth. So it's effectively like Pokemon Go, but it's Minecraft. So you're like building stuff
really?
out in like the real world with your phone. So you'll be going around and everywhere you look with your phone, you can build stuff. So
That's pretty neat. I might actually like that.
So I thought that was pretty cool. I watched the trailer for it last night. It was pretty neat. I shared it also on Facebook. So, but yeah, if you're interested in things, you know, augmented reality type games, and you like Minecraft, that seemed like it might be a pretty neat
Right.
thing to do. So go ahead and check it out. You should go give it a look.
I might check it out later.
Where's the rest of your crew? Josh was up way too late last night and didn't show up. Connor was tired. I talked to him this morning, our time, which would have been today for him, and asked him if he was going to be able to make it. He said probably not. He was pretty exhausted. So yeah,
You talked to him at like 4 o'clock in the morning our time.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, this morning.
Yeah, I talked to him at like 4 o'clock in the morning our time. So rather go around chasing cold beer hookers and blow. So yeah, it's just Des and I solo today. If Josh decides he's gonna wake his ass up, might be able to get him in the show, but that's not likely.
Nope, I messaged him like 4 times. I was like, Josh? No answer.
I messaged him a bunch too on Discord. He didn't answer up. So yeah, we've got some science news here that we're going to go ahead and talk into a little bit. So airborne NASA. Whoa, what the fuck is? I hate these goddamn ads. All right. Airborne NASA scientists just filmed something troubling in Greenland. All right, so scientists aboard a NASA airplane swooped over some of Greenland's largest glaciers on Monday, spotting melted ice and raging rivers. It's significant because though it's not nearly summer, large blue ponds have already, since it's not nearly summer, it's significant because though it's not nearly summer, large blue ponds have already formed on the icy ground. NASA's Operation Icebridge researchers observed this as part of their mission to watch for changes in Earth's giant masses of polar ice. Greenland, in particular, has been melting at an accelerated rate for some 2 decades. Although the story of the summer of 2019 in Greenland hasn't yet been written, it's starting on a worrying note, said Joe McGregor, the project scientist for Operation Icebridge. McGregor is on land in the U.S., but his Icebridge colleague, glaciologist Brooke Medley, captured footage of the early melt, creating big pools of water seen below. Oh yeah, big pools of water. So while such profound early season melting isn't unprecedented, typically these melt ponds form in late May to early June, explained McGregor. It's mid-May, so explained McGregor. This spring, there's one obvious culprit: really warm temperatures. Last week in Greenland, one of the coldest parts on Earth, temperatures measured in the upper 50s to low 60s Fahrenheit. He said, "Oh wow, that's quite warm." Yeah, I mean, because I'm fairly certain it's in Greenland that there's a town there that it's like so cold and all that stuff. People live there and all that, but it's so cold that it's illegal to die in that town. It's literally against the law to die. I'm fairly certain it's in Greenland because they don't have any way to bury bodies there. So, and putting people into the tundra like that, I guess, will just allow for bacteria and disease and all that stuff to just stay in the ground. So if you're going to die, you have to be shipped out of the town before you die, which is pretty neat. So, but yeah, no, 50s and upper 50s, low 60s in Greenland. That it does sound pretty warm. But yeah, so ice caps are melting, people. 541 is most of Oregon anywhere. Oh, they're talking about area codes. Since I see the area code is Southern Oregon, the oldest Medal of Honor recipient, Robert Maxwell, passed away yesterday. He lives in Bend, huh? I didn't know that. We didn't hear anything about that.
No.
So, that was Brett Lang saying that. Then we got Ross Golden. He was responding now to someone else. J Dub saying 541 is most of Oregon, 971 is universal through most of Oregon, and now there's 458, which is Central Oregon. Same here, just finished mowing the lawn, Terrell Well says. Okay, so yeah, there's that.
I have
So
a story.
you have a story?
I do.
Whoop to you.
I've been following the story for a couple days now. It's out of Chicago. It's very sad and very sickening. I don't know what possesses people to do this. So let's get into it. So a 19-year-old went missing. She was 9 months pregnant. Went missing 3 weeks ago. They just found her body in a house. She went to go exchange a stroller for some baby clothes, and one of the ladies in the home, she's been playing this out for weeks. She strangled the pregnant woman, and then they proceeded to cut the unborn baby out of her. The baby wasn't breathing when it came out, so they called 911, and the baby was in critical condition at the hospital. When they did a DNA test on the baby, it found that it was the 19-year-old mother who died. But it was 3 people involved. There was a mother, daughter, and a 40-year-old who helped with it all. And the reasoning behind it is because the 46-year-old mother wanted another child, and she thought it'd be a good idea to kill this 19-year-old mother and cut out her baby.
Dang.
Who the fuck does that?
Well, apparently those people.
And then she lied to this, the victim, and was like, "Oh, I'm pregnant myself. Let's exchange clothes," which was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Just to lure her in.
Dang.
Her husband's devastated. Her mom's devastated. This poor baby who may or may not even make it.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. People need to freaking grow up. That's what needs to happen.
I agree.
Or die.
Yeah,
Seriously.
everyone does that eventually. So.
Yeah, well, these people deserve to die.
Yep, she thought she was getting baby clothes, and it is really
Yeah.
sad on that. And I mean, they're just people. Like, people can be fucked up in that regard. Like, like Des was saying on the story, the lady thought she was, or the girl thought she was going to get baby clothes, and the lady who was trying to sell it, and this had to have been a trap. They set this
Oh,
up
it
on
was.
purpose.
She's been
So.
setting it up for weeks. These
Mhm.
people.
So it's like she can't have baby. I mean, it's hard to figure out what makes a person think that this is a good idea and they're going to get away from it anyway, or get away with it anyway. But
Well, her son died. The woman who did this
mhm.
or planned this, her son died last year.
Okay.
He was 20 years old. She wanted another kid because of it, and she thought, "Oh, this is the way to do it."
Well, sometimes the easy way isn't the best way. So, I don't know. You have to be in order to be able to be the person who's just gonna cut a woman open and rip the baby out of her. You have to be kind of mentally fucked anyway. So, but yeah,
That's wrong. There's so many other ways of going about it. Surrogacy. There's,
mhm.
fertility clinics, adoption. There's so many other ways, but this is not one. This is horrible.
Yeah. Typically, killing someone so you can take their baby isn't a good idea. No.
Well, and the baby may not even survive all this. Like, people are just freaking stupid.
So, moving on to a different story, something less tragic. Well, potentially, I suppose. More science news. So, we're going to go on to this one over here. So, NASA says the moon is shrinking and shaking currently. So, let's go ahead and get through the ads. All right. So, the moon is shrinking and shaking as it does, according to NASA data. Over the last decade, scientists have established that as the inside of the moon cooled, it shriveled up like a raisin. That left it riven with cliffs called thrust faults, marked all over its surface. Now, a new analysis using data from NASA missions suggests that the moon could still be shrinking today. As it does, it is experiencing moonquakes along those thrust faults, with the rock shaking at the cliffs. Scientists compare the process to the way a grape will gradually wrinkle up, adding lines as it cools and shrinks. But unlike a grape's skin, the crust around the moon cannot stretch and is instead brittle, making it break apart as the shrinking happens. The faults form when the crust moves around and one part of the crust is pushed up over another. They form unusual-looking cliffs that can be seen from the surface, standing tall and many miles long. The new research was made possible by the creation of an algorithm that processed seismic data that was taken in the 1960s and 70s. It helped shed new light on those moonquakes, including allowing for a better understanding of where they are actually coming from. Once that location data was generated, it could be laid on top of the images of the thrust fault that were taken from a 2010 study that used pictures from NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. Comparing the two, they found that at least 8 of the rumbles were coming from movement of plates beneath the moon's surface, not from asteroid impacts or other explanations. That helped confirm that the moon is still experiencing true tectonic activity, according to the new paper, published in Nature Geoscience. The instruments left by Apollo astronauts in the past finished their work in 1977, but scientists think the shaking and shrinking is still happening to this day, with images seeming to show evidence of recent movement such as boulders and landslides that appear to have recently fallen over. We found that a number of the quakes recorded in the Apollo data happened very close to the faults seen in the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter imagery. Said Nicholas Schmer, an assistant professor of geology at the University of Maryland, in a statement. It's quite likely that the faults are still active today. You don't often get to see active tectonics anywhere but Earth, so it's very exciting to think these faults may still be producing moonquakes. So, I mean, basically what that's saying is, like, the moon's still shrinking and all this stuff. I wonder how much it'll shrink.
So what does that mean? Like, will it eventually, like, disappear, or?
No, probably not eventually disappear, but I mean,
Just get small enough where it just stays dark outside at night.
that's what I was. That's what I was getting at. It's like I don't know how much. How much is it gonna shrink? So it's probably not horribly.
Yeah.
So it's probably not gonna shrink too much. The moon was in the pool. What? Minnie, what up? I guess Minnie's watching. So yep, Minnie's in here. The moon's shrinking. Is that like the Earth is flat? No, this one's actually got actual science to it, people. In Admiral Akbar voice, it's a trap. So no, this is actual scientific stuff. It's shrinking because it's cooling and all that stuff. So I don't know much more about the science. I don't know how much it's going to shrink. I don't know if it's going to, wither down and crumble or if it's going to disappear. I'd like to hope not,
I don't know.
because the moon's kind of important.
It is.
But yeah, so
I have another story that just popped up.
Okay.
Travis Churt, tour bus was damaged in a fatal crash on South Carolina Highway this morning. His tour bus swerved to avoid. Well,
Who?
he got swiped. Travis Churt.
okay,
His bus got hit by one of the two vehicles that were also involved. In those vehicles, 2 people died and one was seriously injured in the early morning car accident this morning. No one on his bus was injured at all, period. But he did showed a picture of the 2 vehicles. It was a head-on collision, and it looks pretty bad.
dang. So that's for those people. Hopefully they can recover. Did you say someone died?
2 people died. 1 person is in critical condition. It's hard.
I blame Thanos for the moon shrinking. He's trying to throw shit at Iron Man again. If that's a
Right?
If that's a is that a no? Probably not. I don't know.
That'd not be a spoiler. Just saying.
So, Tootie is at Safe Light picking up her sunglasses. So, so yeah, the moon is shrinking and it's crumbling. Yep. So, yeah. And then there's another really big one, right here that's a big story for this week. Huge story. It's been all over the place on the internet. And that's how Alabama signed an abortion ban into law this week.
Yeah, I read about that yesterday.
So, the thing with that is, it really sucks that we don't have more people to discuss this. But, oh well.
That's tough.
But, so, basically what it's doing is it's going to make abortion and pretty much any situation illegal. So, when I read the article, it said, the only cases in which it wouldn't be illegal is if the mother's life was at risk for the pregnancy. There was an ectopic pregnancy, which means the egg landed outside the fallopian tubes and was fertilized, and so there. And then in the last one, I think, and the other one is if the baby will die anyways.
Like, what about a rape of a minor? Like,
what?
A rape of a minor?
Nope. No, and under no circumstances of rape or incest or anything like that is an abortion.
Okay, I don't agree with that.
So thing,
I get it, I do. But a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old, there's cases of even younger getting pregnant.
Yeah. Well, and how it goes with the situation is, there's I can't remember the precedent. There's legal precedent from the Supreme Court. Can't remember which one it was called, but there is legal precedent from the Supreme Court that said banning abortions was not constitutional. So this law is going to challenge that, and effectively what's going to happen is if this law challenges it enough and it overturns that Supreme Court ruling, then it could be going into another. It could have greater impact on people's abilities to have abortions. Like I'm not fully, and I'm one of those people. I'm not fully. I don't fully support abortion. I'm like, there's some situations where, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but I also don't feel as though it's the state's right or the state's job to tell us what we can and cannot do as far as that goes. But I mean that discussing our personal opinions about stuff, especially like that, is we don't like doing that so much on here because that's just slippery slope type stuff. But
Yeah.
but yeah, the precedent I was talking about is Roe v. Wade. I thought it was Roe v. Wade. I just didn't want to say it and be wrong. But yeah, so Roe v. Wade. So that may actually challenge Roe v. Wade, and if it actually fully challenges Roe v. Wade, that it can have big implications throughout the country as far as that goes. So I'm not gonna read the whole article. Roll Tide, watch out for brother, uncles, and sisters, aunts. So, guessing there was a movie on Pornhub called Infinity Twat. Where's Judy to do the research?
Well, about that, it says I thought it was Gru the Hoosh from the moon. Gru from it's from the Despicable movie.
From Despicable movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
His
okay.
name is Gru, the bald guy.
Oh, I don't know. I watched it. I just didn't. Sorry, Infinity War reference. Not in game.
Rare blue moon will appear in Saturday's night sky.
What?
A blue moon, a blue flower moon. It's rare. It will appear. The moon will appear blue, I guess, tonight.
So, are you sure the moon's going to actually appear blue? Because blue moons don't mean the moon's actually blue.
I don't know. It just says rare blue flower moon will appear Saturday night sky.
What a blue moon is it's like 2 full moons in a month or some shit like that. I can't remember exactly what it is. But so in other news this week, we had in Oklahoma City there was a tower that had a basket of workers on it, probably window washers, I'd assume. That was just dangling at the top of the 844-foot Oklahoma City tower, swinging wildly out of control. But it had been contained. So, but that would be a fucking situation. So let's see. Let's read this article. Workers were trapped on a window washing lift that was hanging above an Oklahoma City skyscraper and swinging wildly out of control. An update at 10:15 on the day the story came out. When is this article dated? May 15th. So, at 10:15, firefighters secured the lift and successfully rescued the 2 workers. Footage of the rescue was captured below. So, all we got is footage. Oh, okay. Update, firefighters. So, there's not really much to the story. Just saying that there were people. Why am I still getting notifications? 2 people were trapped in a basket-like mechanized lift, which was dangling from a crane-like structure over the building's roof and swinging uncontrollably at high speeds. That's a fucking piss-yourself kind of situation, though. Could you imagine being on the top of a skyscraper and one of those...
almost dying. You see your life flash before your eyes.
I would just lay down and glue myself to the bottom of the lift.
Pray to God that a miracle happens.
Lay down and start crying.
In the fetal position. God help me. I promise I'll be a good boy. I promise.
That's why our moon is shrinking, Lissy. I remember that scene when they were fighting him on Titan. Oh, the Trailblazers one? Blue Moon is a beer. Get it? I'm not a fan of Blue Moon, to be honest with you. I don't like wheat beers. So, well, those types of wheat beers. It has too much of an iron taste to me. So, yeah, that's why I remember. So, yeah. After that, we're just going through the stories.
I know,
So,
you're blowing right through them.
so any of y'all out there who like are into gaming and then also into Game of Thrones, um, you might be disappointed to hear this. I haven't actually read the article, but there was a point in time where BioWare, if you don't know who BioWare is, I do believe BioWare. I can't remember exactly who BioWare is, but BioWare. Okay, it says right here. They're known for lots of things: Anthem, Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic. Um, but did you know it could have been the starting point for Game of Thrones world domination? So Game of Thrones, they were going to make a Game of Thrones game. Is basically what this is. In an interview with Edge magazine, James Olin, who served as lead designer at BioWare, said Game of Thrones took a backseat in favor of Star Wars. Oh, so Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic came instead of Game of Thrones. Um, I remember we were trying to figure out what our next big game was going to be when we were starting up Neverwinter Nights and finishing off Baldur's Gate 2, says Olin. Ray Musica, BioWare co-founder, would come in and sometimes he'd throw some books on my desk and say, hey, you should read these. This is something we should look at. Funnily enough, one time, the reason I got into George R.R. Martin's Game of Thrones was because Ray had thrown it down on my desk and said, hey, we're negotiating with this guy to potentially make a game. Unfortunately, the negotiations didn't seem to pan out, and that's when LucasArts swept in. Although Olin didn't go into detail about what went down, it's unfortunately a pretty common occurrence in the cutthroat video game industry. So, we could have had a Game of Thrones game, but it didn't work. Now the only Game of Thrones game that I know of is that stupid mobile game that's constantly getting advertised on Facebook. It's like the officially licensed Game of Thrones game, licensed by
I
HBO.
haven't seen it all of those words.
But it's a mobile game, so I'm sure it can't be that good. So,
Have you tried it? No,
as my old team leader once said, "Fuck me running," by Mickey Severson. Prepare to have your mind fucking blown. Dude, what? Just don't throw in in-game spoilers, man. My wife and I are going tonight to watch it.
Yeah, no spoilers at all, period. I'll kick some ass.
Yeah. Well, we're not gonna spoil in-game. We haven't seen in-game yet ourselves, but we might throw some small Game of Thrones spoilers in towards the end of the show.
Because I didn't see the ending. I fell asleep.
You saw almost all of it,
Most of it.
so
I think I didn't see like the last 20 minutes, which apparently is the best 20 minutes.
yeah, some of the biggest things happened in during the last
So I'm
20
watching
minutes.
it tonight.
I'm not gonna give any big spoilers. I had already told you the
Wow.
spoilers that you would get, but so but we're still a little ways away from getting to the Game of Thrones stuff. Right now, we're in our tech news section of the stories. So also some more stuff as far as tech goes. PlayStation 5 has been announced for the most part. We got prices being announced also. I read the article on it last night. I believe it was saying something, saying like $500 what they're planning for the PlayStation 5 to be.
That's crazy.
But it's saying analysts believe that Sony's PlayStation 5 launch could harm Sony because probably because they're charging such a low price for it. Josh is saying he wants to get a PlayStation 5 when it drops. I would like to, but I don't know if I could warrant dropping $500 on a console.
Yeah, not
So
no, never.
We'll see how that goes though. Eventually, maybe. So, and going on from there, we're gonna go ahead and talk about this one. Just some interesting stuff. So the oldest Scandinavian. Oh, I fucked that up. The oldest Scandinavian human DNA found in a piece of 10,000-year-old quote-unquote chewing gum. So, with a lack of ancient human bone excavation in Scandinavia, finding human DNA within this piece of chewed-up birch bark was a huge victory. So, in the early Mesolithic era, birch bark tar was commonly used as glue in tool production. Researchers excavated a piece of 10,000-year-old birch bark in Sweden in the early 1990s in hopes of uncovering a trove of DNA. Why would birch bark be full of human DNA? Well, the tree was used as an ancient form of chewing gum, which could in turn shed some light on life in ancient Scandinavia. Unfortunately, the technology to properly analyze the item's DNA simply wasn't available back then. And seeing as ancient human DNA in Scandinavia has been tremendously difficult to find, potential behind these chewed bits of bark held great significance to researchers. According to Fizz Times, have at least changed, and a new study conducted at Stockholm University has finally been able to unlock the ancient biological secrets within that bird. The research was published in the journal and emphasizes the regional scarcity of human bones from the Stone Age. Um, so this is going to be a bunch of mumbo jumbo about all that. Let's see. As such, discovering. Yep. So they found DNA inside of a piece of bark that was being chewed up.
That's very neat.
Oh, that's pretty cool. They got a. You could actually see.
Is that actual tooth marks?
Yeah, you could actually see the teeth marks. They took
That's pretty cool.
impression of it, so you can. That's pretty neat, though. Yeah, the two casts left and right clearly show teeth marks. It's likely the early people of Scandinavia chewed on the bark in their downtime or during tool production. Huh. Well, that's pretty neat. So it basically be like a tarry substance, like kind of like the pitch from the birch trees that they're chewing on. It's inside the bark, so they're chewing on it, just like chewing gum. No, that's pretty neat.
That's very neat.
So.
I can imagine that it probably wouldn't taste so good.
What?
So I'm pretty sure it wouldn't taste so good.
I don't know. It might.
Maybe, maybe not, but I don't think so.
All right. So here's a little bit more tech news. So if you have a computer, an older computer that's running on like Windows 7, Windows XP, the Windows has a patch that you should get and update your PC with, because there are security flaws in those older Windows systems that leave them open to a worm virus. So just throwing that out there. If you have Windows 7 or Windows XP, make sure you get that patch done and uploaded on your computer. And then more tech news. This is something that I have never actually even heard of. But zombie load flaw affects nearly every Intel processor since 2011. So it prompts Intel, Apple, Microsoft, and Google to release patches. A major vulnerability known as zombie load has been discovered that affects nearly every Intel processor made since 2011, which is your laptop. According to a new report by security experts, the zombie load flaw allows potential malicious hackers to steal private browsing history, passwords, and other information from affected PCs using a software that exploits 4 bugs in Intel hardware, which researchers apparently reported to the processor maker last month. Make sure you check out our in-depth guide on how to protect your devices against the zombie load attack. Microsoft offers a huge cash reward to stop the next meltdown or Spectre. Those are just links to other stories. A zombie load is a high amount of data that the processor cannot properly handle, which causes the processor to use elements of its microcode to prevent the whole PC crashing. This load can contain sensitive data from apps and programs, and the flaw allows this information to be accessed. The zombie load flaw brings to mind the Meltdown and Spectre bugs that plagues Intel's processors. Like Meltdown and Spectre, zombie load is only thought to affect Intel processors, so devices running on AMD or ARM processors, such as smartphones and tablets, shouldn't be vulnerable. While it doesn't seem like zombie load has been used by malicious hackers to steal information yet, the severity of the threat has caused companies such as Apple, Microsoft, and Google to release patches to mitigate against the vulnerability. Apple has released a zombie load patch for macOS Mojave 10.14.5, which applies to every Mac and MacBook released since 2011, which also includes an update for its Safari internet browser. However, it appears that some Macs may see a 40% fall in performance if all the patches are applied. That's bound to upset a lot of Mac owners, so let's hope Apple and Intel work on further mitigations that reduce the impact of performance. Wow, so they're gonna have almost a half they're going to lose almost half their performance or possibly. That's shitty.
That's so crazy.
Keyword yet. Yeah, yet. Fun
But fun fact:
fact.
today is the 39th year anniversary of the eruption of Mount St. Helens.
Today is the 39th anniversary of the eruption of Mount St. Helens.
Yep.
That's pretty neato. Fucking yay! What's you?
I don't know. It's a computer thing.
Oh, maybe. So, and let's see. If there's anyone out there who likes Fortnite and John Wick, I guess Fortnite has a John Wick skin in it now. So I guess there's
Who
challenges.
cares about Fortnite?
Hey, Fortnite is okay. I'm not good at it, so I don't really like it. But yeah, Fortnite has, you have to do some challenges. You can get a John Wick skin, and I guess there's also like a glider and a couple other things that you can get. But yeah, John Wick skin. So I can look into it and actually figure out how you get the skin. But Fortnite Wick's Bounty Limited Time mode is here, and this is how you unlock the free rewards from the John Wick LTM. Limited Time mode. Okay, so the Fortnite John Wick Limited Time mode is here, bringing with it the one-shot glider, boogeyman wrap, and gold coin back bling for those who complete enough of the Fortnite Wick's bounty challenges. Technically, this event marks the pencil-abusing assassin's debut in the game. Of course, some will argue that Fortnite already has a John Wick in the form of the Reaper skin, but this time the John Wick skin is official to tie in with the release of John Wick 3. The Wick's Bounty limited time mode is a squads deathmatch with each team trying to collect gold tokens by eliminating opponents. You can survive 3 eliminations before you're out of the game, but the token leaders are shown on the map for everyone else to target, so it doesn't necessarily pay for your squad to streak off ahead. Help your team reach their target token count to win. And you could be adding some new assassin-themed goodies to your locker. Well, that's pretty neat. I might jump back into Fortnite every now and then, but I bought a new game last night too, so I might be doing that a little bit more. It's called Green Hell. It's a survival game, single-player survival game, which seems pretty neat. Oh, Mickey Severance says I own a Mac. That sucks. Yeah, because of that, yeah, that zombie load. Because I do believe Macs use Intel processors. You might want to check in to see if you have any updates or anything like that to fix the zombie load.
So John Wick 3 is now playing in theaters.
Yep, it came out yesterday. I do believe it was. Yeah, because it was Friday. So yeah, the movies usually drop on Fridays. So yeah, John Wick 3 came out yesterday. I've heard it was really good. And I'll get to watch it at some point. So yeah, but yeah, I bought Green Hell last night. There was that, and then
No, I'm not happy with you.
Butter also told me that he was considering possibly actually playing 7 Days to Die with me. So
Nice.
told him I'd be his builder. He could just go do the scouting. He's like, "That's awesome." I was like, "Yeah." So I'm a bit of a builder in those
You're
games.
a game nerd.
Yeah. So let's see. So, 99-million-year-old squid relative found perfectly preserved in amber. Well, that's
pretty neat.
That's pretty
I like
neat.
that.
Let's read that story real quick. All right. So, scientists find first ammonite fossil ever preserved in amber. I don't know how they can say it's the first fossil ever preserved in amber. Maybe it's the first one that's ever been found. But I'd say they could reword that pretty well.
What is it?
It's an ammonite. I don't know. I'll read the article and we'll find out. So, this 99-million-year-old ammonite fossil specimen may finally allow researchers to unlock the mysteries of this prehistoric mollusk. So it's a snail. All right. Yeah, mollusk is a snail.
Is a sea cucumber.
Mhm. The preserved ammonite
Yes,
fossil
ma'am.
encased in amber along with X-ray scans of the specimen. Scientists have uncovered an ancient ammonite fossil perfectly preserved in amber, and it's a whopping 99 million years old, according to The Independent. This ammonite fossil is the first found in amber and one of the very first marine organisms ever found preserved in this way. The find was a big surprise, Professor Bo Wang from the Nanjing Institute of Geology and Paleontology told The Independent, "We never imagined we would find an ammonite in amber." The new study was published in the proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences and was a concerted effort between institutions from China, the UK, and the US. That has nothing to do with a mollusk. The mystery of the ancient ammonite. So, I guess read a little bit more. All right, the ammonite was a prehistoric mollusk that went extinct at the same time that the dinosaurs died off at the end of the Cretaceous period. So far, these marine creatures, which are actually relatives of the modern squid, have only been found as fossilized imprints inside ancient rocks. Now, however, scientists have discovered much more than just a faded imprint, which opens up exciting avenues for researchers to learn more about the Earth's prehistoric ecosystem. So there it is, just a little teeny tiny snail shell inside of amber, and a whole bunch of other things in there, plants and stuff. The preserved ammonite and other specimens trapped in amber. The preserved ammonite fossil was found in northern Myanmar, which is renowned for its extremely diverse amber-encased specimens. The fossil provides researchers with a way of studying these relatively mysterious mollusks that they have never had before. So yeah, that's pretty neat. Ammonite fossils found in the ground in Myanmar. Amber is actually pretty popular
It is.
in like Asian culture too, isn't it?
Yep.
So that makes sense because it's probably really easily found out there for one reason or another. Because amber is just old tree sap, I do believe, right? I think that's all
I
it is.
think so, yeah.
So we'll go into some other things, a little bit of political news here. Boo. So there was a judge in Florida, I'm assuming. Judge orders Florida-based broadcast company to register as an agent for Russia. Let's see. My phone is making noise. Oh, it's a Discord message. All right. A U.S. judge has backed the Justice Department ruling that Florida-based RM Broadcasting must register as an agent of Russia under the Foreign Agents Registration Act. Another move in the two countries' dispute over foreign broadcast operations. In a May 13th statement, the Justice Department said RM Broadcasting has been acting as an agent of a Russia state-owned media enterprise created by Vladimir Putin to advance Russian interests abroad. RM Broadcasting buys and then resells airtime on the WZHF AM radio station in the Washington, D.C. area to Sputnik International Broadcasting from Moscow 24 hours a day, and is thus under the direction and control of Sputnik's parent company, Russian government-owned Rosoya Segonia. What the hell's going on here? Oh, we're getting a call in. Ah!
Fix it. Hurry up.
I'm trying! There. Got it. I think I got it. There you are.
Hello.
All right.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Going good. Oh, is that, who is this?
It's high tech.
Oh, what's up, dude? That's who I thought it was.
Sounds
Yeah.
high tech.
Hey,
Duh.
so the BB Nation crew thought since the rest of your crew wasn't on today, we thought we'd do a fun fact for you.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, fun fact.
Okay.
Who's at your front door?
Oh my god.
Hold on.
bathroom's tripping over shit, and our house is a mess. Thanks, guys.
That's awesome. Wasn't exactly expecting that. How y'all doing today?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. So, our house is a mess.
Address from John.
No, I had your address
Oh.
because he gave it to me when you guys moved, so I could schedule John.
Ah.
Yeah.
So of course, being high tech, I got to keep all the info. And, yeah,
Oh my God.
that's right. So yeah.
Here.
We'll pile in on over here.
Oh, good job.
Uh oh. Shit, are you?
For a minute at least. Yeah, for John can only hang out for a minute, but we're good for a few.
Yeah.
Over there.
Well, why didn't you feed her on the way over?
So,
Because
I gotta
there's
get
no
my
food in between.
headphones.
How's that?
What?
Oh, you're good. Shit to you.
So,
Oh man.
Oh, here comes the kids. Here comes the
here
kids.
come
Yeah.
the kids. We actually use headphones,
What
Yeah.
are you guys doing in our neck of the woods?
Oh, we're out at by Billy Chinook picking up a few things over at my uncle's house, and we
Nice.
we're thinking about meeting up with John here and everything on our way back in. And yeah, he was in Pendleton, so he just got back from Pendleton. And so we just thought, and then we're sitting there, we're driving, we're like, wait a minute, 1700's gonna be on.
Right.
1700's gonna be on, and we'll be there right about the same time. Hell yeah!
Right?
Nice.
So
So
just like,
we figured we'd have to do a little invasion.
Oh.
We did that earlier when we first started the show. I was like, what are they looking at? A can of chew? He's still on
Let
it.
me see. Well, hold on. Let me check on expert.
hide in the background behind Jake.
There we go.
Right.
There you
Yeah.
go.
There we go. Now we're
There you are.
Oh.
What happened to my camera?
What would this show be without
Oh, wait,
technical
wait.
difficulties?
There it is.
There it is.
At least there's no water dropping on your keyboard and
Right.
laptops.
That was horrible. Oh my
Did you see the
God.
computer?
That was so bad.
Mickey,
Dude, that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was so horrible that day.
Nice.
Zane
Why'd your
all
camera
over his
Oh,
laptop.
that's
That's yeah. We're looking over
Right.
now, so.
Hey, Mickey
yeah.
Severson is awesome. He owns a Mac like I do, so.
Whatever.
The reason that popped up is because have you heard of the zombie load?
Yeah, we're listening to the
Yes.
show
Okay.
with them.
So I guess that's a big thing. So if you own a Mac, you might want to look into
What?
getting the updates for that.
What? John's
So,
like, wait, what's going on?
There's I guess you call it a virus for Mac or for Intel, and Macs use Intel processors. So it basically causes the processor to have too much of a load that'll crash the computer or crash the processor, and then it has microprocessing that kicks in so it doesn't crash. But then that opens up a lot of like big files open to be gotten into by hackers. So, but they're dropping.
Crazy.
I don't know why I can't breathe right now.
Yeah. Probably because you had this asshole to talk about.
But yeah, they dropped a patch to be able to fix it. So I would look into that if you run a Mac.
If some of you guys don't know, this is BB Nation. They're on Sunday nights.
Woo!
8
Go.
o'clock our time.
Yep, 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. Go check them out. They are awesome.
They are.
Even if we do,
We're
come
definitely
to your
awesome
house-
because we drop in on you.
Right? I keep telling them when we're in Portland, because we're in Portland often, and
Yeah.
you guys aren't too far outside of Portland,
Nope.
that
Exactly.
we should just go, and we're going to be there quite often to just not to have a bunch of surgery.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right?
That one of these days we're going to have to like stop by and see you guys.
Well, you
Absolutely.
guys are going to be over next weekend too, right? Next Saturday?
I
For
think,
Guitars or Stars?
I mean, we
Can
can
we-
ditch our show and go. I mean,
well,
I'll save
can
money
we
completely.
because it was going to be difficult to go because we had to go for Dresden, but that got rescheduled, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, if we can manage to get a
Do
babysitter for them, let's go to Guitars for Stars.
I can ask, you know,
Let the rest of those,
Oh,
let
nice.
Dawn and those guys all do the show, and then since they're taking this week off,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
let
so
them
there
do
you
the
go.
show, and
Well,
then you
Dawn's
guys
not
come
even
out.
part of the show anymore.
Don's
What?
kind of his schedule changed, so he works on Saturdays now. So he can't actually. He does pop in sometimes from work.
Okay,
If
well
that was
make
the case-
make the Brit do the tech then.
God. So
That,
we could try that.
no, I don't think Connor and Josh had the capability of even
Well,
running the show by
Josh
themselves.
could run the show. I just don't think he has.
I mean,
the knowledge
Athen
for it.
runs the show, so I mean, come
It's
on.
not-
Seriously?
it can't be that
Train
hard.
monkey?
That's true.
Okay, come on.
That's true.
Hey, I even picked up
I do
2
all
other
right.
shows during the week that I
Yeah,
run
on
tech for by
Spreaker, yeah.
myself over on the Springer side. So this
Hey,
dumb
it shows. It shows.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
It just goes to show the quality of instruction I get too.
Oh.
so I was like, we ditched the mixer board because all that ever did was cause problems.
Oh.
So now we're just basically going off. Well, she's running off of her laptop now, so that helps
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, we noticed you guys how you guys had kind of changed that up. So
Mhm.
I figured that's what you did.
So and
Yeah.
then it's like we had last week. We had a caller. I think it was
Not
Mickey
last week,
who
the
called
week
in.
before.
The week before, yeah, we had a caller. I think it was Mickey called in, and I forgot the fact that like the Google Voice is only going to be for me.
Yeah.
So he called in, and I was talking to him. So Desiree and Josh
And
and
everybody else
Connor
can hear.
were all over there talking between themselves, and he was talking, and there was all kinds of stuff. So I was like, how do I fix that? And I had to go set up voice meter.
Check it
Yeah.
out, Shane Boner's on.
VB cable, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Daytime shenanigans. Fuck yeah.
Pretty much.
So yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Always a cool
No, it's a
time.
nice surprise, you guys.
it was.
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
Absolutely,
I
man.
called you out. I said, you're in Pine Road. And
Yeah. Well,
What the hell?
we completely forgot that the stupid Facebook nearby
Yeah.
friends deal. And,
It popped up.
Yeah.
It
and
Yeah,
so,
that's exactly
So I
what
heard
it was.
you say that, and so literally when
Yeah.
you said it, we'd actually
You
pulled
were
in.
half a mile away.
We pulled in
We
the
were
driveway.
right out
We were
here.
right here in the driveway. Because we were checking out the house before John got here, right?
Mhm.
So to make sure we knew where it was and everything like that. And so we went and we parked
So
over
you
by
were
the park.
right outside?
Yeah.
I got the
We-
notification.
Yeah, yeah. So we went 2 streets over and parked right next to the baseball field there.
Oh my god.
And we were sitting there waiting for John to get back into town, and we're listening to the show and everything, and you bring that up and you say, oh, you guys are in town or whatever, and you're not stopping by or something. You said something around those,
Yeah.
those words. It was like,
And Josh and I looked at each other like, you didn't tell where we.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say nothing. Did you say anything? No, man.
It popped up on my Facebook.
Yeah, then the light bulb went on.
Popped up, yep, and I was like,
next time, turn GPS location.
Yeah, you too.
Well, he didn't pop up. You did.
Ow!
No.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, don't
It wasn't
even.
him. It was you.
Well,
See, if my GPS location pops up, it's just normal because I live here.
well, yeah.
Right.
Right.
He lives here, so
Yeah.
it's normal.
Yeah,
but
that wouldn't have been anything else.
Yeah, they'd be like, all right, whatever.
My phone doesn't do that.
Mine does. I got my laptop
I
and my
didn't get no
phone.
notifications.
I was gonna say,
Snodgrass,
don't you
uh-oh.
actually have to have like cell phone service?
So we told Minnie and
Did you actually get
Snodgrass
phone
and some of the
now?
other folks.
Yeah.
We kind of
They
messaged
actually
them
got
privately
me
and
a
say,
phone.
hey, by the way, you
So,
watching
I had to
1700
do
right
that. I
now?
still don't use it. But.
Yeah.
Why? You want
got
to.
it mostly just
Because some
because
serious
of the
shenanigans is about to take place.
Right?
So
Right.
Snodgrass just texted me back going, uh-oh.
Right? Other wasn't expected to be tackled, man.
Well, here's the thing about it, too, is that, we're, as far as the shows and stuff go, I think aside from, with the bar and George and stuff,
Mhm.
those guys are pretty close together.
Hi, Snodgrass.
Yeah. Goose! So,
We're not losers, you're losers, Don.
anyhow,
Get
so,
back to work.
right? So, I mean, aside from them, I mean, we're the next closest ones that are together. So, and it's like I was telling Josh on the drive out here coming from Billy Chinook, I was just like, dude, when we came up with the idea, it's just like, just as well as I do that if any other shows were just as close together, this type of shit would be happening all the
Oh, yeah.
time.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So,
So
And we drive up to Portland on a Sunday quite often.
yeah, we do actually.
Because
then how come you guys never stop
We
by?
schedule his appointments on Mondays, and we're driving to Portland Sunday evenings after.
Well, next time we go out there, we'll have
Yeah.
to drop by.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
please
definitely.
do.
Yeah.
Stop by your show. I mean,
you guys
we're
have been
not
able to
far
do the
out,
one
so.
thing that I haven't, which is get them over here. They won't come over here for me, but they'll come
Oh,
over
So hold on a second. So our original whole plan was to come over here and see you
You know.
with the whole thing, but then you said, "Oh, well, I gotta be in Pendleton for
Yep.
yeah
Fuck
bullshit."
that all up.
So yeah,
I'm not happy about it. I gave up my Saturday to drive 4.5 hours for a 15-minute appointment.
that's
Yeah.
kind of bullshit. At least if they were gonna have you drive,
Uh-oh.
Getting another call.
Who is it?
Who is it?
Get out of my way.
Hey, what?
Oh.
Uh-oh. I know.
Goose!
Goose! Goose!
Hello.
I declare shenanigans.
We saw the number come up on the screen. It was like, oh, we know who that is. What is happening, you little bearded bastard?
Oh, just well, right now I'm cleaning up puke, but
your own.
no, my toddler. It almost was mine. My youngest, we were laying on the couch watching the 1969 version of Scooby Doo, and he came so
Oh, that's always fun.
Right?
that was a blast.
Well, at least
But-
it wasn't shitty.
Right?
Yeah. I already dealt with that this morning. But,
Yeah, you totally missed the half-assed dog pile.
oh God.
It was
Oh,
more like J-Dub laying on Apton and the other two just sitting back
I got-
watching it
I got
happen.
mushed.
Josh calls a call line. We're staying outside the front door, and he's just like, well, since you're minus like most of your guys' crew tonight, we figured we'd call in with a fun fact. And Athens like, oh yeah, what's that? And then Josh goes, fun fact. I turn around, pound on the freaking door, freaking total cop knock. And they're like, what the hell? Yeah, who's outside your door?
DEA, this is Ray.
Pretty much.
Opens the door and he just gets
Oh,
freaking manhandled into the damn couch. It was freaking hilarious.
Good thing is this couch, not the one we used.
Right, I'm sure.
Horrible. Yeah, we upgraded our couch.
My lord.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah, that's nice.
Our old couch was
Skishy.
tiny.
You should
It's
see the way it was
squishy.
set before. It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was bad.
So, which, by the
But
way,
I-
since we got you on the line, brother, I want to tell you, at least on behalf of our crew, make sure you let your daughter know congratulations on her graduation, man. That's awesome.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
Yeah,
I
I
see the pictures on
told her, hey, now that you graduated, you can pay rent.
get out, get a job.
That's how the kids are. I mean, Tristan pays our rent, so he's good. But I
Right.
can't.
What was that George likes to say? Get a job, motherfucker.
Right? Yeah. Good job, motherfucker.
I told a customer of mine, like, you know, he has a 16-year-old and he, like, doesn't have a job, doesn't do shit. And I was like, tell him to get his ass out and get a fucking job. He's 16.
Mm-hmm.
16. Get out and get a job. You know, look at McDonald's. There's
Just saying.
somewhere.
Yeah,
Like,
I
come
mean-
on.
I mean, after all,
Some-
McDonald's is going to be paying $15 an hour here pretty soon. So I mean,
Is that actually going through?
fuck, I don't know.
Well,
They
at least
keep
in this
talking about
state,
it.
at least in this state,
Hey,
yes.
now you can pay $64 for your Big Mac fucking value meal to be fucked up.
Yeah,
Right?
Right?
Yeah, it's already bad enough to get a double quarter pounder meal. It's like $10.50 or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It's pretty crazy. But
And
no,
then, yeah, like
Well,
he was
I mean,
reaching half the
You
time.
know,
It's like, right.
what time
the
is
McDonald's
the
here
thing on
can't
Saturday?
get, they
Saturday?
can't get a single
Seven,
order
yeah,
right.
well, if I leave my work at 1:45, we should make it out there in plenty of time.
Oh, yeah.
Get a babysitter.
We just got to get someone to watch the kids. So.
Yeah.
You make the plans, Des, otherwise he'll forget.
Exactly.
I promise
No,
I'll
no,
make
we're
plans.
relying on you.
Yeah. That's why we're looking to you with all this
Right,
now.
exactly.
Not you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I have a week to find a babysitter. So you can do that.
Awesome.
Maybe your mom can watch her for the night.
We can do that. I need to apologize.
You need
to
to
her
apologize
for
for idiots.
I forgot to tell my mom
He
Happy Mother's
forgot
Day.
to say Happy Mother's Day to his mom.
But
We were
Oh!
you call her.
Call her right now.
Worst son ever.
Right?
Right?
So true. And I was like, you're buying her flowers, you're buying her card, you're buying her chocolates. I don't
Okay,
give a
okay,
fuck.
here's the
You're
thing
buying
about
her-
it. At least on Mother's Day, see, our show last week was on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we at least called my mom.
Yeah.
But we kind of prank called her at the same time.
Yeah, we
too.
did.
Yeah, we totally did.
That's always fun.
Because we
Worked
we
very
voice
well,
changed
though.
Mariah, And so she sounded like Donna.
Off of that 70s show.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Again?
her
Dude,
pitch.
She hung up on her.
Oh.
After
is
Pop
funny.
ruined it, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pop's just like, no, it's Justin, it's Justin. We're like, God, shut up, old man. Just give her the
Just
damn
be
phone.
quiet. Like, how dare you
Oh,
ruin it?
man.
Now your mom knows you do this show and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Just checking.
See, I had my show on Sunday.
Yes, you
my
did.
Spearhead Shenanigans. I dedicated it all to
I
Mom.
think that's her number.
That was a good
before my
show, by the way.
I actually took my mother
You should
breakfast.
have answered that line.
You
I
what?
don't know.
She
I
might.
actually
Tonight.
took my mother breakfast.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You were saying that on the show.
How do I do this?
Yeah.
So-
With him on the phone.
Oh, okay.
You know,
You gotta wait.
So-
step your game up there, Athens.
Slacking, bro.
Dude, what is with you and the notifications?
I don't know. I don't know how to turn them off.
Like, as soon as we start
It's
the
really
show,
easy.
it
Go
Uh-oh.
down
okay.
to your.
See, here we go.
Your
Now,
sounds?
now
Mhm.
Athens getting live
Okay, go to
in-show
sounds.
tech help with our producer.
Yeah, next thing George is gonna want this.
Right?
So it's your sound scheme. You actually need to turn
So-
everything off.
Okay,
So
so
if you-
So
if
technical
can-
difficulty somewhere, we're going to try and
Clicking
make
cool?
the Warrior Fest.
Ooh.
we want to this year, yes. I was
So
gonna
it's
bring
all
it up to
the
my boss,
asterisks
get
and
time
all
off
that
for that.
okay.
So
But
you're just
yes,
taking
our
the
goal
change
is
the sounds
to
down
be
the
out there
bottom.
for
There actually
that
might be a
this
sound
year.
scheme that's just no. I
We were
don't.
sad that we missed it
Alright.
last
Oh,
year,
like the
and
scheme where it
we
says
really
filter.
want to be out there.
Which, by the way, have you guys got a venue yet
See
for
where
that
that
thing?
Oh, right
says
here?
there.
Okay.
Look there. See? Yep, no sounds.
Okay.
There you go. No hit. Okay.
Not yet.
No
Alright.
venue
That'll
He
yet?
didn't
matter.
think
I got it.
about that. He's like,
I got it.
Yes. He's announcing the venue next weekend.
Oh, okay. That's right. I
We're
forgot.
not announcing the venue yet.
Aren't you doing it next weekend?
So, no.
Tickets go on sale?
No.
kids sound like
That's
they're killing
this is at the request of my booking guys that are booking the band. They do not want me to announce the venue until like I think 3 or 4 months out.
Booking guys that are booking. So the eyebrow is telling you to do this.
The Eyebrow and Outlaw Entertainment.
Got it.
Yeah.
Tracking.
But I can say that 106.6 The Blast is going to be there.
Oh, so now you're announcing the radio.
Now you know what
Hold
we're
on a
gonna
second.
do.
Here we
Hold on
go.
a second. You said you wouldn't announce the radio show until like the week of Warrior Fest, but now you're announcing that without announcing the venue.
This is special because it's technical difficulty somewhere. So
He's trying to say that it won't make it onto the.
That's not nice.
That's not
Ow.
nice.
And we passed that on to the bar. The bar's the ones that have all the issues now. We hardly ever have the issues.
hey, at
so
least one person from the bar showed up.
we
That
passed
is true.
That is true.
Yeah.
Good old Cornell showed up, so
That's
Blue
right.
Falcon.
Well, we've been calling out Minnie and
Hey, keep it brown.
yeah, Ethan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, what the hell just happened?
All the kids.
Kids are being.
Hooligans.
It sounds like a herd of elephants are in our house right now.
No.
I've got 2 toddlers, I know.
It is.
Right.
Yeah. So.
In your room.
I don't want them.
All right.
Fine.
Mommy, no.
Fine. Go to work.
Yeah, right.
Get
Yeah.
a job, motherfucker.
So yes, the staff
That's how
have been
that
thrown at
sounds.
and I even offered the bear to find a 12 or 16-year-old bottle of scotch to share with him if he comes out.
Ooh.
But that's a big if.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That is a big if. Yeah.
Well, I know many when I talked to him on Friday Night Debauchery last night, because I cornered him again on it. He's just like, no, man, the wife's already told me that I have to go, so I'll be there. Da, da, da. I'm just like,
Okay. Technical foul. Technical foul.
no, okay, go ahead.
Same thing he said last year.
Did he say that
That
last
is
He
year?
true.
did.
You did.
He
He
did.
did say that
Last year.
What, that
he
his
said,
wife told him to go?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
She said absolutely go. Go before the baby's born and all that different stuff. Go.
True.
Go have your fun.
And last year, I do believe he actually called her household 6.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Call
Instead of the
out.
whites.
yeah. So the whole thing is that he said he would have been there. Matter of fact, the day before we were messaging with him, and he said he was going to be there, and then he was just no show because he was going to show up on Friday. They said, "Oh no, now I'm not going to show up till Saturday."
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
And what
And then
happened
Saturday,
Friday?
and then
Freaking him and George went out for Marine Corps birthday and just got freaking schmammered.
Saturday.
Or it was Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, Saturday.
Got freaking schmammered at their freaking hole in the wall close to them instead of coming out like they said they were gonna.
And
Yeah.
how many days is it?
And
So,
celebrating
Two.
with another
Two.
2 day
Marine.
event.
Kansas City, Missouri, or somewhere around Kansas City, Missouri, since we don't know the venue.
But you need to hurry up!
And that's
right,
later
you
in
can
the
pay
year,
this
right?
shit.
I will
Veterans
make
Day
this
weekend.
promise.
Yeah, right.
I will make this promise right now.
City
As
Oh,
soon
all right.
as
Hold
we
on.
are ready,
Go
as
ahead.
soon as we are ready to announce the venue will be announced for the first time on BB Nation.
Whoa! Nice.
Okay.
We don't have an exclusive, but we have the first.
Right. Fair enough.
So,
Fair enough.
What were you saying, Ben?
Now, just to verify, that's the Sunday night BB Nation, not the Monday night BB Nation.
Not the
there
recap.
is no Monday night BB Nation.
They're talking about
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, ThreatCon 5, BB Nation 1.0.
Oh, BB Nation 1.5?
So I said your Monday night recap is Sunday.
Yeah. No, it will be on BB Nation on Sunday night whenever we finally decide to release the venue and whatever other information. Obviously, tune into the World Radio Show for info, but I will release it the week prior, the Sunday prior to releasing it on the World Radio Show. I will give it strictly to you guys as an exclusive.
Yeah, don't fuck it up, you guys.
I know, pressure's
Don't
on.
fuck it up.
You're talking to us? Come on now. Come on now.
It's
I
okay
trust
that-
you guys
It's
more.
okay the Apple guy doesn't get to go to
I
studio
mean,
anymore.
it's not
so
going to
you
be
don't have to worry
as epic as the Beaver
Because he's gotta
Creek
work.
Saloon on
Dude,
Beaver
I have
Creek
to
Road and
work
Beaver
in
Creek
bed
Boulevard,
at 6
but
o'clock in the morning every day now.
Damn.
God. So I'm up at 5.
Fuck
Well,
your
that's
I'm
a
up
life.
lot.
at 4.
Well, see, if you sleep all day Sunday, drive over, drive back, you can just go straight to work.
Right?
This would
It's
work.
like, no.
This would work.
John's like, fuck my life.
It's already bad enough as it is.
So Goose, what the hell else you up to?
oh, I'm drying off my moist kid.
Your moist kid?
Yeah, moist.
In the United States, like Moistica?
Yes.
You cross some Rocky Moisten Range? You get the moistest Tennessee? Across
Moist,
the
Iowa?
moistest in the
Oh,
river?
man. No, other than that, no, I will not be doing my show tomorrow. No Spearhead Shenanigans tomorrow.
What?
Oh.
Due to, I've got to get ready for a graduation party, so.
That makes sense.
Fair enough.
That's acceptable.
Wait, what time's the graduation party?
So I've got
He's
stuff in the smoker that I smoked all day today. I made homemade barbecue sauce. We're making more food tomorrow, and I don't even know what the hell's going on. So
Let me just tell you that Friday Night Debauchery, J-Dub has never missed a week since it started. Even if he had to do
Yeah.
a pre-record, he has never missed a week since it started.
hint, hint.
I
Nice.
was thinking about doing a pre-record,
Well, then do a pre-record.
but with the issues we're having with my board right now, I don't know if it's going to work.
He's running a mixer board too?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't really need to run a mixer board for a single person doing. Oh wait, are
Right. Well, no, because
Unless
I
your
run my
sound's
music
coming
through
out
the
of it.
board as well.
Yeah, music. Well, do a test.
Yeah, I'll mess with it here in a bit, but anyway, guys, I just wanted to call and check in, see how you guys were doing. And yes, I agree 100% with what Dave Dub was saying before I called in about if more of the shows were closer together, that shit like what you guys are doing would happen.
Exactly.
Trust me, I've been trying to figure out a way to get a show on BRS you know, aside from just us out in this area, just so I can go bomb them every once in a while.
It was a shock.
You weren't
You know,
expecting you guys to
just show up and be like, what's up?
Yeah.
Literally, he opened the door, and next thing you know, he goes see this big freaking 275-pound man just freaking go running full steam at him and just tackle him down.
It was a great surprise, seriously. I mean, we haven't seen you guys since.
All right,
we went
guys,
out
have a
there,
great
or at least
show.
we haven't seen
All right,
you.
see you, Goose.
Goose.
Later.
Later, brother.
See you later.
I've seen you like.
I was gonna say, you
on-
see him all the time at 7-Eleven.
Yeah, he buys the buffalo chicken rollers. So.
Oh.
Speaking of which, my girlfriend is starving because we haven't.
Yeah, go take care of your old lady, dude.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go get food and go home and go to sleep. Probably.
Probably a good idea.
Well, thanks
What
for
are you guys
hanging
doing?
out.
What are you guys doing?
We're heading back to the
We'll
house.
say we're heading back after this,
I mean, if you're gonna go to sleep, then
I was gonna go get food. What did you guys eat?
right before we came here.
we
What
need
you guys
those
been
morning.
doing for the last 2 hours since I talked to you?
Eating and sitting.
Yeah, we ate and then we came over here and sat outside.
Did a recon,
Yeah,
and
doing
hung
a
out,
recon,
waiting for you.
Yeah, yeah. We're about to give up on you, and then he called you and said you were 5 minutes out. I was like, yes,
Dude,
good.
it's a long drive.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you look tired.
There's no service out there.
Right.
especially with Sprint.
I don't have Sprint.
They had Sprint. They have T-Mobile.
T-Mobile and Verizon. So I had my work phone.
One for one, two
yeah,
for
you have
three.
your work phone. That's right.
And work phone had almost no service either.
Really? Well, actually,
That's why I kept losing Justin.
surprisingly, T-Mobile, AT&T actually, at least in Dayville, actually has the best service, but you have to be up on top of the hill.
Alright, Dayville wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Last time I was in Dayville was in 2015 when I was on Melbourne Hot Shots.
I was saying, yeah, you were a hot shot when you were out there last time.
We're
Oh
on
shit, he's
fire.
breaking out the beast.
Uh-oh.
Having another one.
Milwaukee's beast.
Yeah. It's cheap.
Okay, so everybody that watches all of our shows knows that I'm a beer guy.
Mhm.
You live in Central Oregon, the beer capital of our country.
And
We literally have 3 of the most award-winning breweries in the country.
And then
Are
the shoes comes
45 minutes that way.
I know.
And here he
And
is
you're
drinking
drinking
fucking Milwaukee's beast.
best.
I drank the
It's
three
cheap and it
samples
gets the
that
job done.
Nice.
my boss wants me to try them so I can
Yeah.
give him feedback so
Yeah.
they can get into our store.
Absolutely.
So I tried both of them. One
Yeah.
I did not like, absolutely not. And then the other one I liked. But,
Well, you should just
I
tell
mean-
them you just need to keep sampling until you like
right? Exactly.
it. Yeah, yeah.
The breweries will come to our stores and they'll like, here, try this and tell us, you know, what you like.
And you,
we'll
good
put it in
sir.
the store.
Not digging on Blue Moon.
I don't like wheat beers. They're too irony to me.
Try it with the orange slice, it might change your mind.
I
Yes.
should try that.
It's the best
Yeah,
way.
orange.
Blue Moon with orange
Slice of orange.
Mhm.
Yes. And
Especially a
it's-
blood orange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I bet Josh and Connor wish they were on the show today. They had a great surprise today.
Well,
I know.
Connor's in England, so it's kind of like
Oh, yeah.
in the middle of the night for him when he's on the show. So.
He'll be all right.
Yeah.
He'll
but,
buff out.
but it's like
But Josh,
Josh,
was so
he
drunk
was
that
he didn't go to bed until like 4 o'clock our time last night.
Yeah.
So that would be like 7 o'clock his time.
yeah, he
And
did good
usually when that happens on a
Mickey's calling you out too.
Milwaukee's best is piss water. It is crap. I won't deny it. I'm not
Snodgrass
it's a good
PBR.
beer.
PBR.
I'd rather drink PBR than Milwaukee's Beast.
I would.
True statement.
I
PBR
like
True
tastes
fucking
like
statement
I
right
dig
there.
PBR, especially
Call
when
from.
it's
Oh, we're
warm.
getting
No, that was
call?
the
an old-
notification.
That was,
Oh, okay.
yeah. That was Goose calling.
Well, what I was gonna say is, if you guys hadn't eaten yet, you're welcome to join Katrina and I.
And we would have if we had eaten breakfast and we could have waited, then we would have.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it was literally, he got up early this morning. Well, I can't say too early because you showed up
Yeah.
like literally 20 minutes after you rolled out of the rack.
Yeah.
And you showed up like 2 minutes after I rolled out of the rack to go make the drive over. So it was like both of us were like, oh fuck, I'm grabbing a bagel as we're running out the door. I'm like, all right, coffee in one hand. I'm like trying to,
bagel on the other, trying to shove food down your throat.
yep.
Scarf it.
Hey, do what you have to do. Getting drunk on a budget, being fiscally responsible.
Oh my god.
John,
Balling out a budget.
Yep.
Usually High Life is my go-to, but I will drink it about anything.
Oh my, I'd buy that. He is a fucking youper. Did you see that turdy pointer? The turdy point buck. Cruising around in his rusty Chevrolet.
The Yoopers.
The Yoopers. He is a Yooper. But I fucking love T, dude. He was on Friday Night Debauchery last night with me. Oh my god. I knew just from like hanging out with him in the comments with some of the other shows and BSing with him a little bit on the bar here this last week.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, when he came on freaking FND last night, oh my god, the dude has me freaking rolling. And he's one of the few people that I can sit there and banter back and forth with that understands all my Letterkenny references aside from John. So it's like, oh yeah,
I get
freaking great.
I've watched some of Letterkenny, and we don't have cable, so what we
You have Hulu?
No, we use Cody.
No, we use Cody.
Get Hulu.
So
All 6 seasons are on Hulu.
okay.
So it's on Cody too.
Well, it's harder to get on Cody because Cody's
Yeah,
pirating
true.
stuff. So, but yeah, it's
Don't tell a secret. What's wrong with you?
It's like freaking LimeWire back in the day.
yeah. I mean,
Seriously? Or Napster when they first started out. Really? Come on.
so,
What
but
is wrong with you?
hey, it's not a big deal. People, I say it on Facebook
know.
all the time.
Right.
Maybe that's
People are like,
Facebook.
"What's the best way for me to, or best website I can go to watch movies?" I'm like, "Just use Cody. It's better than a website." So,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
which,
that's right.
by the way, you guys have not seen Endgame yet?
Not yet, no.
Oh,
We don't often watch movies in the theater, so we gotta wait until it comes out on
dude,
DVD.
this one, you need to see it in the theater.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It,
We'll have to go here in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
you just don't get the full appreciation of everything unless you go see it in the theater. The three of us, well, John's seen it the night before. Well, yeah, no, he came with to see it a second time.
Yeah.
Freaking, but the three of us and Mariah all went to go see, and I think you brought Cassidy with you too, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah, his daughter. And so the five of us, we went and seen it in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
There at
Oh,
the theater out there in Wilsonville. Bro, it was worth every penny. I mean,
Yeah.
but I will say this. Go use the bathroom or whatever else before you go to see the movie, because if not,
It's long.
You missed
it's a 3-hour-long
Oh,
movie.
wow.
And you don't want to get up to go
You
to
do
the bathroom.
not want to miss anything that happens, because it's one of those, if you get up and leave for 5 minutes to go use a piss or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you go get a refill on a drink or whatever, it's going to mess everything up. So this is one of those, you sit down and you watch it.
And
Okay.
this isn't a spoiler by any means, but these guys didn't listen to me. There's no point sticking around till the end of the credits.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
absolutely
That was
not.
the spoiler I wanted to drop a couple weeks ago because I read it. And everyone's like, "No spoiler." It's like, I mean, it's not really a spoiler. I mean, it is, but
The
it's
only
not.
thing that you're going to miss, there's no end scene credit. You
You're
know,
gonna miss a soundbite.
Yeah, all it is a soundbite, and what it is, it's a soundbite paying homage to when the whole MCU first started off back in 2008 with the first Iron Man movie, and it's the sound of Tony Stark banging away on an anvil, clanging on some steel when he made the Mach 1 suit.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Because all they were doing is going full circle.
J-Dub said don't watch it high.
don't watch it high.
Oh, dude, go see it high if you want to.
Woo!
Tripping balls.
Dude, I didn't know the Infinity Gauntlet had mushrooms on it, man. That's crazy.
Oh shit.
Why does Thanos' chin look like a scrotum sack, man? You ever wondered that? A big old dickhead. I mean, look at the guy, man.
These are the things he thinks about.
No,
Don says, "I'm
That's
just,
just because he likes dicks.
You are.
Yeah,
I
You're
am.
notorious for
I'm
freaking
trying to work on
100%.
the spoilers.
No,
I
see,
spoiled Game of Thrones.
I like
off
to-
on accident.
I like to give dicks. I mean, take a look at what happened with your blown up rear end.
That wasn't a dick.
But it didn't happen until I sat in the back. And Athen pretty much, when I came in and freaking pile drive him, he pretty much turned freaking ass up to me. So I mean, like I was
So what you're
saying,
saying is you like the man meat.
no, I like to give the man
So
meat.
but you like men.
Hey,
You give
it's
it
not
to
gay if I'm giving it.
It's still gay.
So Don said
He's the
three
giver, not the receiver.
three bangs on an anvil, paying respect for 3 Iron Man movies. So,
See? Exactly.
so Don's our our
Geek.
our nerd guy. He knows.
Yeah.
He's in comics and anime and all that stuff. He's the guy that knows the most about all that stuff. And that's why we're mostly sad that he's not on the show as much as we'd like him anymore.
Yep.
So,
Well, we
work
obviously
calls,
see that he is on.
mm-hmm.
So why is he not on?
Because he's on like
He's
when
at
you're
work.
at work.
Makes sense then. Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Got it?
sometimes he'll be
Okay,
on,
I got it. I got
He'll be on sometimes.
sometimes he'll be on break and he'll jump into the Skype call and all that stuff and jump in with us. But now he can just call in.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, right
Spoiler
now,
alert.
it's
John is
typing.
going to give another lap dance at Warrior Fest and Han Solo dies at the end.
Fuck, I am. I graduated.
He's like, I'm not the intern anymore. Get Biscuit on that shit.
He could bring the elephants on with him. Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, damn.
Calling you out.
So,
Oh, yeah.
alright, guys, we're going to go and bail out here. Figure we can jump in and bullshit with you guys
Yep.
and hang out for a
Sounds
few.
good.
So.
Yep. We just
Thank
thought
you
we'd
very
harass
much.
you. Yep. So
That's
we
awesome.
gotta get back to the other side of the mountain anyways. and
Right, you guys have a long
Good.
road ahead.
Unload
Yep.
unload the crap we picked up and all that. So
Well,
Sounds
it's
good.
nice for you
So,
guys to stop by.
yeah, absolutely.
When
Yeah.
Tristan has his next
It's
appointment.
good to see you again as always, my
Nice to
friend.
see you as well. Thank you for stopping
When
by.
Tristan has his next appointment, we'll definitely stop by.
Yes, please do.
So,
Please do.
So, alright,
I'll
brother.
be around you guys' show.
We'll see you later. I'm
so-
glad to finally
Yeah,
meet you,
well,
man.
just give me a call.
Oh yeah,
We
because we
didn't
haven't
get
actually,
last
have we?
time.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Good to finally meet
No.
you guys.
Yeah, just give me a call,
I'm at
shoot
the
me a
mall.
text, whatever. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So.
Adios,
Is your
fuckers!
working good, dude?
Oh yeah,
Bye.
internet's working
See you
fine.
later.
Yeah, you're
So
going to
I want to get a
install
little
it
bit
better,
faster.
fine.
I want to get it a little bit faster, but
It's coming.
it's coming.
Right.
Nice.
We'll see
Well,
you
let
guys
us, hey,
later.
let
Later.
us know when it comes.
What's that?
Oh, she's
Oh,
saying more.
John,
Yeah.
Alright,
Bye,
we'll see you later,
guys.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
That we need to fix that thing again. All right. So that was an exciting situation.
Yes, of course. That was like the greatest.
That and he
like,
has. Oh, Don also has a
surprise
meeting soon. Okay.
ever. Oh, new stuff's gone.
Said Game of Thrones spoilers leaked, and apparently it's as horrible as everyone expects it will be. I've
Yeah, well,
I've seen some. I have actually seen a few stories about it. I had some that I was gonna read. I'm gonna work hard on not actually spoiling it.
please
Um,
don't like that. Come on, come on.
So, but let's see. We've got half hour ish left. We'll jump into a couple of our lighter, harder stories. So, has anyone heard about how Xbox or Microsoft and Sony are planning on teaming up, joining forces to do some for cloud services as far as gaming? So, apparently, I watched some videos on it and I read a couple articles on it. Microsoft and Sony are actually going to work together towards, I think it was Sony's basically game streaming service. So the way a lot of things, like, they're trying to move gaming into streaming service. So like you have a server that's located, say for us it would be in Seattle or something like that. You have a server that's located in Seattle and it sends you game over the wire, so you can play a full-on AAA title like on your phone, for example, using your phone as a display and all that stuff. And Microsoft and Sony are trying to team up to make a super giant one, I suppose. But yeah, there was that. I'm not gonna go too far into that story, so. And now we're getting down towards the Game of Thrones stuff. So, I'm not gonna spoil the Game of Thrones episode, but it's I'm gonna say as lightheartedly as I possibly can. If you've watched the rest of the season, this particular season, you've seen there's been sort of like an evolution of several of the characters have kind of evolved to be a little bit different throughout it. Like, John hasn't really changed any too much, but you got there really hasn't been a lot of changes to a lot of people. John changed a little bit. You had the the really tall Sir, what's her name? The blonde chick, the knight, Sir Brienne. Sir Brienne.
Oh, so yeah.
She's had a little bit of an evolution this season. Jaime Lannister's had a little bit of evolution this season. And Arya's had a little bit of evolution this season. I mean, she lost her virginity the night before they went to war. So,
Yeah.
but we've all seen the evolutions and all that stuff. But there's an article that I had here. I'm not going to actually, well, I could kind of jump on a couple of the bullet points. But there's an article here that I've got. It's saying 40 times Game of Thrones foreshadowed a specific transformation for one of the characters in Game of Thrones. So I'm gonna look to see if any of these are gonna be not too spoilerific. Season 1, episode 6. After Viserys sees how much the Dothraki love Daenerys, he responds with jealousy, saying, "Who can rule without wealth or fear of love?" This might be too spoilerific. Because yeah, this will give up. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
No, don't do it.
I'm not gonna read it because it's gonna give up some of the big things that actually happened in that episode, and I'm not gonna do that. The Xbox One disc list is already out. Oh, really? So they're going. They got the Xbox One disc list going straight streaming, or is it just downloading and installing games? Done. But I'm gonna pull back on reading that article because it's just gonna drop too much towards it. So here's another one about Game of Thrones. It's saying in season 1, Tyrion gave some advice to Jon that could reveal the Game of Thrones finale, which is the show that's gonna be on tomorrow. The episode that's gonna be on tomorrow night.
And I need to watch that last 20 minutes.
So let's see what this is saying about what the tomorrow's episode might be like. So Jon Snow, which that is the final episode, right? Yeah, that is the final episode. Yep. So Jon Snow has come a long way since season 1 of Game of Thrones. Yes, he has. Beginning the series as Ned Stark's supposed bastard son, and ending season 8 as Aegon Targaryen. Potential king of Westeros is definitely an upgrade. But will Jon Snow claim the throne in Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 6? One key line of dialogue between Jon and Tyrion back in Season 1 may hold the answer. So now that I'm not going to read that part. So after the events of... Okay, I'm not going to read that part at all. Yeah, no, I'm not going to read that part, so he has yet to fully claim or reveal his true identity. Varys likely made sure the secret would get out. Tyrion, however, probably knows with whom he stands, as his first moment with Jon in Season 1, Episode 1, recently resurfaced on Reddit, may have set the stage for Jon's final actions. Tyrion knows better than anybody what it's like to be a family outcast, and back in Season 1, he could relate to Jon because of it. Heading into the series finale, Tyrion's guiding words may be foreshadowing Jon's public acknowledgement of his identity and ascension to the throne. Here are his exact words from Season 1, Episode 1, Winter is Coming. Let me give you some advice, bastard. Never forget what you are. The rest of the world will not. Wear it like armor, and it can never be used to hurt you. Not really sure how that's going to be like... Because of the way Westeros treats bastard children, plus some non-subtle resentment from Catelyn Stark, Jon always felt out of place as a Stark despite having grown up with a loving family. The mark of being a bastard weighed heavily, so even after finding out he was a legitimate Targaryen heir with a rightful claim to the throne, Jon was still reluctant to take on that identity. It's why he remained loyal to Daenerys, promising he wouldn't take what was rightfully hers. So, never forget what you are. So, I don't know. That might... So, it's almost sounded like they're claiming that quote from Tyrion is effectively saying that John is going to, like, fuck it, I'm going to become the king. All right, later, Don. He's already gone though, but. Says Chernobyl is pretty good. Deadwood is coming back. Download. Oh, I think he said download is coming back. Yes. How about you just share the link? Okay. I was reading. So,
In other words, he don't want to hear you.
yeah. So, I can't. It's tricky. Spoilers are tricky.
Yeah, well, don't hear the spoilers.
Alright, so this will be the last story we pop on before we're going to end the show. We'll probably drop out a little bit early.
5 or 10
but yeah.
minutes early.
So, but we're going to talk about this story, which is, I mean, pretty interesting. Alright. So, an Ohio school closed after enriched uranium was discovered inside. We aren't prepared for something like this. Right. An Ohio school has been forced to close for the remainder of the academic year after enriched uranium was discovered inside. Neptunium-237, a byproduct of nuclear reaction and plutonium production, was also detected inside Zons Corner Middle School in the town of Piketon, about 80 miles east of Cincinnati. Both substances are radioactive, and extended exposure to them can cause cancer. The middle school serves about 320 students, and officials have been working to determine the source of the contamination and establish its extent. They have not rolled out a longer school closure. Oh, so these kids, they're like, school's out for forever.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they can't find the source, then,
They'll probably end up getting shifted over to a different school, I'm
district
sure,
or a different
if
school.
it's going to be too long of a closure. Scioto Valley Local School District Superintendent Todd Burkett made the decision to close the school on Monday. Even the last couple of hours have been very hectic. There's just not a playbook on how we deal with this. We're kind of writing the script as we go. We're not going to take any chances on someone's child. We just won't do that. The State Department of Education said that the affected students had already fulfilled their necessary classroom hours for the year, so would not need to make up the missed days once the uranium issue had been addressed. The source of the enriched uranium remains unclear. According to WLWT, some local residents suggested that the nearby Portsmouth gaseous diffusion plant, located 2 miles from the school, might be responsible. The facility previously produced enriched uranium, including weapons-grade uranium for the United States Atomic Energy Program and for use in U.S. nuclear weapons. Uranium enrichment at the site ended in 2001. The site is now subject to an environmental cleanup under the supervision of the Department of Energy. Department officials told WLWT routine air samples in the area of DOE Portsmouth gaseous diffusion plant in Piketon revealed trace amounts of 2 radiological isotopes that were more than 1,000 to 10,000 times below the established threshold of public health concern. DOE treats all detections seriously, even those that are at such low levels. So, apparently it's just kind of like residual stuff.
Yeah.
So, alright, well.
Here's something, since we were just talking about Game of Thrones. Filming has started for the Game of Thrones prequel, Blood Moon.
Mm-hmm. I have heard stuff about that.
We'll have to keep an eye out for that and watch it.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we'll have to check that out. We'll keep you guys updated on all that stuff. We are Game of Thrones fanatics. We love Game of Thrones. So, it was really embarrassing that our house was such a mess when they stopped by.
I know, we weren't expecting that.
So, but
I mean, in real life, I guess.
With all that, it is a little bit early. We're gonna cut the broadcast now. We're gonna be heading out. So, with all that, thank you all for watching. We're totally psyched. It was totally awesome. The BB Nation guys stopped by. That was kick ass. That was an awesome experience. So,
Yep.
fun. We probably would have wrapped the show much earlier today had they not showed up. So.
Right, so thanks for seeing the show and thanks for the shenanigans. So.
Yep. So, either way, y'all have a wonderful weekend. And a wonderful, safe weekend. We'll catch you.
Check out BB Nation out tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow evening. Make sure you check out all the other shows on the network as well. BB Nation tomorrow. You got Trek on 5 on Monday. There's WO Radio Show. You got
Tuesday,
the bar.
FinVets is on Tuesday. The bar's on Wednesdays.
FinVets. I gotta really get that written down at some point.
You do.
So, but yeah, with all of that said, y'all have a wonderful weekend. Hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up on all other social media if you want as well. We love you, faces. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Catch you next week, same time, same place. And now the awkward